Sahaj Vidhi www.sahajvidhi.in Question 1. Any democratic society, judicial review of administrative action is the soul of the system. Without it, democracy and rule of law cannot be maintained. Explain with example. Model answer. Judicial review of administrative action is the power of the courts to scrutinize the legality, rationality, and procedural fairness of decisions and actions taken by governmental agencies and public authorities. It ensures that administrative bodies act within the bounds of the law, do not abuse their discretion, and respect the rights of individuals. This power is indeed the soul of the inner democratic society, as it is indispensable for upholding the rule of law and maintaining the democratic fabric. Why judicial review is the soul of the system. 1. Upholding the rule of law. The fundamental principle of the rule of law dictates that everyone, including the government, is subject to the law. Judicial review ensures that administrative actions are not arbitrary, ultra vires, beyond legal authority, or mala fide, in bad faith, thereby preventing the executive from becoming a law unto itself. 2. Protecting fundamental rights. In a democracy, individual rights are paramount. Administrative actions often directly impact these rights. Judicial review acts as a bulwark against executive overreach, ensuring that fundamental rights guaranteed by the Constitution are not violated by administrative decisions. 3. Ensuring accountability. It holds the executive and administrative agencies accountable for their actions. This accountability is crucial for good governance and for maintaining public trust in the administration, for promoting transparency and fairness, by requiring administrative bodies to follow due process, act rationally, and provide reasons for their decisions. Judicial review promotes transparency and fairness in governance. 5. Maintaining checks and balances. It is a vital component of the separation of powers, preventing the executive from encroaching upon the legislative or judicial domains and ensuring that no single branch of government becomes too powerful. 6. Strengthening democracy. When citizens know that can seek redress against unjust or illegal administrative actions, their faith in democratic institutions is reinforced. This contributes to a healthy and vibrant democracy. Without it, democracy and rule of law cannot be maintained. If judicial review were absent, administrative bodies could act with impunity, leading to arbitrariness and tyranny. Unchecked power would inevitably lead to arbitrary decision-making, oppression, and the erosion of individual liberties, erosion of rights. Fundamental rights would become mere paper guarantees if there were no mechanism to enforce them against state action. Sin system rate they. Breakdown of constitutionalism. The supremacy of the Constitution and the principle of limited government would be undermined, paving the way for an authoritarian state. Example, judicial review in land acquisition. Consider a scenario where a state government decides to acquire a large tract of agricultural land from farmers for an industrial project. The relevant law, such as the Right to Fair Compensation and Transparency in Land Acquisition, Rehabilitation and Resettlement Act, 2013, mandates specific procedures, conducting a social impact assessment, obtaining consent from affected families, providing fair compensation, and ensuring rehabilitation and resettlement. If the government agency proceeds with the acquisition without following these mandatory procedures, for instance, by not conducting a proper social impact assessment, or by offering inadequate compensation, or by failing to provide rehabilitation, the affected farmers can challenge this administrative action in the High Court, under Article 226, or the Supreme Court, under Article 32. In such a case, the court, through judicial review, would examine legality. Was the acquisition authorized by law? Did the government agency have the legal power to acquire the land? Procedural fairness. Were all the mandatory procedures laid down in the Act followed? Were the affected parties given a fair hearing? Was proper notice issued? Rationality to proportionality. Was the decision to acquire the land for a genuine public purpose? Was the extent of land acquired proportionate to the public purpose? Was the compensation offered just and fair? If the court finds that the administrative action was illegal, procedurally flawed, arbitrary, or violated the fundamental rights of the farmers, e.g., right to property, right to livelihood, it can quash the acquisition order, declare the acquisition null and void, issue directions, direct the government to follow the correct procedure, conduct a proper social impact assessment, or provide adequate compensation and rehabilitation, award compensation, in some cases, direct the government to pay damages to the affected parties. This example clearly illustrates how judicial review ensures that the government acts within the confines of the law, respects individual rights, and adheres to principles of fairness and justice. Without this mechanism, the farmers would be at the mercy of an unchecked executive, leading to a breakdown of the rule of law and undermining the very essence of a democratic society. Please visit our website www.sahajvidhi.in for more content.